Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, I have more Jeffrey Epstein news to share with you guys today. Trump has been busted telling more lies about Epstein. Pam Bondi was before Congress today. She insulted the Epstein victims. She was also very visibly shaken after being called out for refusing to look into allegations against Donald Trump. That's a fun video I have to share with you. Before I get into these details and more stuff, though, please do me a huge favor. Share this video with everyone you know, because almost every single video that I do about Epstein gets demonetized because of the subject matter. And so what ends up happening is not only does it affect me financially, but they bury the video because they're not going to make money off of it. So they don't bother to show it to people. And then this information doesn't get out there. So any way you can help, I appreciate it. You can even share it via email or text if you're not on other social media. So anyway, let's first get into the news about Trump. So he was just caught in another lie. The Miami Herald, their investigative reporter, Julie K. Brown, broke this latest story based on something that she found in a 2019 FBI interview document. So, as we all know, Donald Trump has claimed forever, I didn't know anything about Epstein's crimes, had no idea. Like, in fact, when he's been asked about Epstein in the past, he said, oh, Jeff is a great guy. I hear he likes women as much as I do, but he likes them on the younger end. So that always seemed suspicious to most of us. And we questioned, like, okay, what are you trying to say there? But yet you say you don't know about his crimes. Well, what he told the Palm Beach police chief, Michael Reeder, is totally different. So there was this 2019 interview. This was related to the Epstein investigation when he was arrested the second time. And Reeder said that Trump had called him in 2006 and he said, quote, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." So, yeah. And then Reeder also told investigators that Trump referred to Ghislaine Maxwell as Epstein's quote unquote operative. And he said, quote, "She is evil and to focus on her." That's direct quotes from Reeder, from this former police chief. And then Trump also allegedly told Reeder, quote, "He was around Epstein once when teenagers were present and Trump got the hell out of there." So "got the hell out of there" was supposedly a quote from Trump. And he made the same old tired claim that, oh, I kicked Epstein out of my club. So this contradicts Trump's previous statements that he had no idea. Obviously, this begs the question of, okay, well, if Trump knew what Epstein was doing, why didn't he go to the police? Why didn't he report this? I mean, I could understand average everyday citizens being afraid because obviously Epstein was well connected. He had a lot of money. He threatened people who threatened to go to the press or the police. Trump didn't have to worry about any of that. He didn't have to worry about backlash or being sued, right? He was supposedly wealthy and famous as well. His statement to the police chief sounds like cover your ass. That's what it sounds like to me. And by that time, by 2006, obviously word had gotten around that Epstein was under investigation, obviously, or Trump wouldn't have called them. So it seems like Trump was like, oh, I better get them before they get me. I better say something before they say something about me, because then I can go, well, I called you guys. I didn't do anything wrong. Now, of course, MAGA is trying to spin this. They're like, oh, see, he reported Epstein. See, this proves the libs are wrong. Again, he kept his mouth shut until 2006. Decades after he was hanging out with Epstein, decades after he allegedly violated children at Epstein's parties. And the other thing is, do you remember what he said about Ghislaine Maxwell when he was asked about her being arrested and getting indicted? He said, "Oh, I wish her well." But yet he told the police chief a decade earlier, or however much earlier it was, over a decade earlier, "Oh, she's evil. You got to look into her. She's the ringleader here." Come on, MAGA. I know a lot of you are dumb, but really, are you completely brain dead? Like, is there nothing up there in that noggin? And then check this out. So according to Reader, he became concerned because by 2007, they still hadn't arrested Epstein. So remember, he's investigating him in 2006. He hands this off to the state attorneys for the federal government. And a year later, they still haven't done anything. So he said that he met with then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, who went on to serve in Donald Trump's first cabinet. And he said, "What's going on? Why haven't you guys charged him yet?" And Acosta told him that there was, quote, "a lot of interest from higher up." A lot of interest from higher up. Okay. He told the investigators, meaning this Reader guy, he told the investigators in 2019, he's like, "Look, I just got a bad feeling about this." He said, quote, "There was a hurry to make this case go away." And then shortly after he had that meeting with Acosta, Epstein received his sweetheart deal. So, I mean, this tracks, right? We have Acosta allegedly telling people, "Yeah, I had to back off because this guy is connected to intelligence." And then he's telling this police chief, "Oh, yeah, there's a lot of interest from higher up." Why would anybody higher up in the government be interested in the dealings of a prolific pedophile in Florida? Right? Why? I mean, there's pedophiles all over the country. Why are people higher up in the government so interested in Jeffrey Epstein? Also, we have another document that was just discovered, which completely refutes Trump's claim that he, quote unquote, kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. So take a look at what Jamie Raskin had to say.
One document, which was an email that was sent by Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell, which was the forward of an email that he had received from some of his lawyers, giving an account of a conversation between Epstein lawyers and Trump lawyers and others about what had taken place during that 2009 period. It was during the period of the 2009 investigation. And Epstein's lawyers synopsized and quoted Trump as saying that that Jeffrey Epstein was not a member of his club at Mar-a-Lago, but he was a guest at Mar-a-Lago, and he had never been asked to leave. And that was redacted for some indeterminate, inscrutable reason.
Yeah. So, like I said, that was Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin. He and other lawmakers were granted access, supposedly, to the unredacted files this week. So that's where he saw this email exchange. And then Raskin also said that Trump is named more than 1 million times in these files. Absolutely insane. I mean, how do you square this? If you're his supporter, mentioned 1 million times, much more than anyone else other than Epstein himself. But yeah, I'm sure he's totally innocent. And then according to all of the lawmakers who saw the documents, about 70 to 80% of them are still redacted. And this includes people who appear to be co-conspirators. And that was confirmed by Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. She also saw these documents the other day. So next up, I have the news about Pam Bondi to share. So I guess you can call it testifying before Congress. Not really, because she didn't say much other than to insult them and bob and weave. But anyway, several Democratic lawmakers filleted her. They, of course, talked about the Epstein cover-up. They also talked about Renee Good and Alex Preddy. She looked like she was literally shaken after one of these Democrats, Congressman Ted Lieu, he accused her of lying under oath, and she had a complete meltdown and tantrum. So this is really good. Check this out.
Discuss another man, Donald Trump, who is all over the Epstein files. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got your answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman, please
that
stop the clock. Stop the clock.
the legislation. This is ridiculous.
Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you, here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell, so should the men who patronized his operation. And as we say here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
The gentleman has expired.
This is what Congressman Lieu didn't want to talk about. He didn't want to talk about all the crime that is happening in his state. California refuses to honor detainees because of its dangerous sanctuary city policies. The refusal means California has released 4,561 criminal illegal aliens onto its street.
So as you saw, she had nothing to say about the allegations against Trump. She threw a total tantrum, deflected to immigrants in California, as if that has anything to do with the subject matter here. I mean, she blathered on. I cut it off because it was just a waste of time, but she blathered on for a while after that. She clearly has not seen the polling on Donald Trump's failing policies, because if she had, she would know that immigration isn't really popular like it once was for Trump. But, you know, what else does she have, right? How can she possibly explain her refusal to even interview people who made allegations against Trump? So Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal also called out Bondi for protecting another man while exposing Epstein's victims. So take a look at this video.
Violation of the law. Your department has shown a pattern of redacting the names of powerful predators. Here behind me is one example of an email from Epstein to a man whose name was redacted. The email reads, quote, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video." Only after members of Congress demanded that we see the unredacted files did the world learn the name of this individual, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the chairman and CEO of a company that had financial ties to President Trump's business and personal ties to Trump's advisor, Steve Bannon. Second, the survivors were not similarly protected, also in violation of the law. Here is another email titled Epstein Victim List. We have blurred the names of the survivors for their protection, but your Department of Justice initially released this list of 32 survivors' names with only one name redacted, along with numerous files that disclose not only the names, the emails, and the addresses of survivors, but also nude photographs.
So that I want to point out the whole thing about the unredacted names of the victims. That's something that the victims themselves are saying they did on purpose. Epstein victims believe that the Trump administration did this purposely to shut them up, so that they would be too afraid to move forward and keep pressuring them, which is very possible. I mean, given what we know about this administration, right? It's not hard to believe that they would do that. And then check this out. So Pramila Jayapal asked Bondi to apologize to the victims who were at the hearing. And this is what Bondi said. I'm not exaggerating. These are her exact words. She said that she was not going to, quote, get into the gutter for her theatrics. Think about that. Like, I'm speechless here because imagine being asked to apologize to victims of a pedophile who destroyed your life when you were young, and the Attorney General of the United States, who is supposed to be protecting all American citizens, is saying, oh, I'm not going to do that because that would be me getting in the gutter. What the actual fuck? And I can tell you with complete certainty, this is not going to go over well with some Trump voters. I have seen and heard over and over again on social media and in focus groups, the Trump voters who have ethics and morals and principles, and yes, they are out there, many do, they are saying Bondi needs to be fired, Trump needs to get rid of her, they don't trust her anymore, and it all stems from the way that she has handled this Epstein issue, and then also, you know, there's some spillover there over the whole Alex Preddy thing, his murder. So, you know, I'm sure I'm going to find a bunch of them. I'm sure I'm going to see a lot of responses that I'll share with you guys in the upcoming Trump regret videos. But this isn't going to fly the way they think it is. I'm sure she thinks, oh yeah, I'm going to win over MAGA like this. And they're just going to think I'm the greatest thing because I fought the Democrats. I upset the libs. And yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to this, when it comes to child predators, no, that's not going to work. So, I hope this woman also, I hope one day, you know, she will meet her maker and she should burn in hell for all eternity for her part in covering this up, covering up the crimes of sick, disgusting pedophiles. I mean, you saw that one email about, oh, I love the torture video. Like, and this is a sultan who, by the way, is from a country that was just found to have paid millions and millions of dollars to one of Donald Trump's businesses to prop up his failing social media site. He bought into one aspect one platform of Truth Social, or I guess it's, DJT stock and, whatever the whole, I forget what they call the whole overall corporation. But anyway, he invested in that. I mean, a flat out verifiable, objectively a bribe. Like, you can't look at it in any other way, because then Trump is out doing their bidding. And, maybe even trying to keep these emails hidden for him. All right, guys. I'll let you know when I find out more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.